Obviously, there's a huge move with what happened after COVID for B2B businesses to go 100% digital. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Search. This week, we will talk about top B2B e-commerce features and functionalities. Now, the reason that we want to talk about this is obviously there's a huge move with what happened after COVID for B2B businesses to go 100% digital. Now, this is happening at the highest level of the ladder all the way down to small business. So if you are running any kind of B2B business and you want to add e-commerce capabilities, or you already have an e-commerce business, but you are B2B heavy, you are going to need these features and these functionalities. Joe, we talked about 100% digital many times. What are the changes that you're seeing in the industry right now? What are people demanding? What do they need? Can you give us an overall view of what you think is happening? Because it's really hot right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we're seeing right now is our clients are now requesting additional functionality to enhance their user experience, especially from a B2B standpoint. In the past, when it comes to B2B, your online store has always been secondhand, right? Your call centers, your catalogs that you would send out, especially in the industrial industry, that has really been your primary focus. But now what we're seeing going and moving into this 100% digital, we're seeing the need now to take that user experience that used to occur offline from human to human interaction. They're now needing that same type of user experience on their online store. So that's the type of trend that we're seeing now, is that these store owners, they need their site to function the same way as if somebody were to walk into their warehouse or walk into their storefront.
Yep. And what we need to pay attention in a place like this is when the demand increases, it means that the market is moving in mass to 100% digital structure. Now, in the past, we would maybe get 3-4 requests on a monthly basis for B2B e-commerce, functionality, migration. In the past 30 days, we have had probably 45 to 50 requests. The reason for this is everybody, big and small and medium-sized, is realizing that they're going to need these functionalities to be in business and to stay in business. So let's talk about these functionalities, Joe. The first one that we added to our list is multi-add to cart functionality. Multi-add to cart functionality needs to have tiered pricing. That's another one. So let's talk about those two first. When I go to your site, if I'm looking at the retail version, when I log in as the wholesale customer or the B2B customer, I need to see different pricing structure, right? And I need to be able to place an order easily and choose terms of payment easily, because my terms could be net 90, right? And somebody else's terms could be net 30. So I need the system to reflect that. Talk to us about multi-add to cart and tiered pricing, please.
So multi-add to cart is extremely important because this allows your system to now identify a potential B2B customer without them even having to log in. So if you see that an individual is adding high quantities of multiple products to their cart, you can now have the ability to issue or offer discounts based off of the quantity that they're adding to the cart. And at the same time, possibly take that communication offline with a message once that price or quantity hits a certain threshold. So having the ability to identify a potential B2B customer. Now with the multi-tiered pricing, this allows you to offer your B2B customers a discounted rate based off of quantity. And again, like you said, Duran, you might have some vendors or some clients that you might offer a higher discount to rather than others. Having this all configured on your back end, once they log in, the prices will show whatever rules you set for that particular client on the front end.
Yep. So multi-add to cart, like Joe actually mentioned another functionalities. If you have a retail site and you see that people are adding to their cart $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, you could create the quoting functionality and get them out of there and get them onto a phone call, because it's very likely that you're going to close that sale over the phone, right? Rather than having them wait in a session. So that's another functionality. The multi-add to cart functionality is also, if I'm going to come to your site and every single product of yours has its own page and I add to cart, if I'm going to place orders for 30 products, I'm going to need to go, select quantity, add to cart, go back, select from the category, go back, add to cart, go back. To avoid this, what you want to do on categories is you want to list these products, and you want to have a very, very easy and efficient way for the B2B buyer to select, okay, I want 5 of this, 6 of this, 3 of this, 10 of this, right? Another functionality I just thought about, Joe, it's very important. In your My Account page, you better have a reorder functionality. Because if I'm placing an order for my office, let's say I'm placing an order from Office Max or Office Depot, right? And I place the same order on a monthly basis, which is I'm going to need toilet paper, I'm going to need hand sanitizers, I'm going to need soap, I'm going to need paper towels, I'm going to need cleaning supplies, right? Now, if I already have an item, 10 items, I don't want to go back and add them to cart again. So if I placed that order last month, just give me a reorder button. Now, reorder button doesn't reorder automatically. It just puts everything back into your cart. So if you want to make additions and changes, you can do that. So that's another functionality on top of multi-add to cart. And what Joe was talking about, customer groups, right? I might have 1,000 B2B customers. 10 of them might be like really special. So I give them a 40% discount. Another 500 could be, 30% discount. And the system should be able to, especially if you're doing B2B quotes, the system should remember what quote you did for who. And you can build this all on a big commerce or Shopify or another enterprise platform. It's not difficult to do. Let's talk about phone tracking, which is one of my favorite functionalities. Session ID phone tracking. Why is this important? Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. So we've seen over, I would say, the past decade, this be one of the biggest pain points for B2B businesses. And that pain point is the moment that phone call comes in or that communication goes offline, there is zero attribution as to where that individual came from. So what this does is it makes it very, very difficult, if not impossible, for a business owner or even on our end, a marketer, to understand what is working from a marketing or advertising standpoint, right? So where do I allocate my resources to drive more revenue? If you do not have any type of phone tracking or session ID system in place, you will have no clue. You're essentially operating in the dark. And what we see is a lot of business owners, they're happy because they're seeing orders come in, so they're happy. They don't question it. However, at the end of the day, if you want to scale and you want to continue to grow, you need to understand where those individuals are coming from. Are they coming from SEO? Are they coming from PPC? Are they coming from Facebook? So that's pretty much one of the biggest things right now in B2B is being able to attribute that phone order, that phone lead, to a specific channel or medium that individual used to land on your site.
Got it. And what we'll do is we'll do screencasts on this, but you can, for our readers and for our audience out there, you can go to this website. It's called schooloutlet.com. We probably have 20 clients running this, but I like this website a lot. It gives a perfect view of a combination of B2B and B2C. And when you go to schooloutlet.com, on top of the website, you're going to see a section that says Session ID. So what School Outlet does is we track the session ID, and there's a UI that you can log into as the B2B business. And you can basically, this is integrated with Google Analytics. What we do is when somebody goes to the site, they're looking at a specific chair, they call and they basically say, hey, I'm calling and I want to buy 100 of these school chairs. And the first thing that the phone person or the first thing that the phone reps asks is, can you tell me the session ID right next to contact us? Right? That session ID is unique for everybody. It's unique for where you're coming from. If you're coming from Facebook ads, Google organic, a referral, an affiliate, right? A marketplace. And it's unique for the page that you are on. So we're tracking everything in the back end. What we can do later on at the end of 30 days, we can say, look, you received 200 phone calls, and out of those 200 phone calls, you got 100 orders, and those 100 phone orders came from these sources totaling, $250,000. Now you can make logical business decisions because you know where your phone orders are coming from, number one. Number two, we've also done another thing where we combine this with a 24/7 chat and answering service, we are actually going to start providing that as a service as Optimum 7 because 90% of e-commerce businesses need this, right? You need to have 24/7 chat and phone support. You need somebody to pick up the phone and say, it's a great day at Optimum 7, how may I help you? Because the industry is very, very competitive now. So that's about phone tracking. It's an awesome system. We're actually working on this, building it as a SaaS tool. But if you have any questions, you can reach out and we're happy to share more. Now, what else we have? Let's talk about wholesale accounts and approval processes. If I have a business, if I have B2B capability, I don't want just any average Joe to come and get discounted rates from me. So there needs to be a registration and approval process. How do we do that, Joe?
Basically, what they need is a custom form. And what this custom form allows an individual to do, if you're a serious business owner, you fill out this form. Once that form is submitted, the business owner now has a back-end admin panel that they can review and approve. And the moment that they approve, sends out an email notification over to the person who just applied. They get either a confirmation or they get rejected. And then basically now they have their login information with their credentials that they can go in and start receiving those discounted rates.
Yeah, you got it. Let's talk about vendor integration for quantities and for orders. A lot of people need this. You might be a B2B business, but you might not be stocking all these items. You might be stocking all these items, but you might be working with a third-party logistics provider, a 3PL. So how are you going to make sure that your POs, your quantities, and everything else in possible multiple warehouses and distribution centers integrate? This is something that Optimum 7 does. We're pretty good at this. We're pretty efficient at it. And we've solved some really, really serious business issues with this functionality. Why is this functionality important, Joe?
So many different levels, right? You have orders coming in. You need your quantity to be synchronized, especially if you're getting new inventory in. And then at the same time, you need to know when you need to place another order if you're running low on supplies. So this is essentially your skeleton, your infrastructure, the backbone of your business is having this in place so that you can operate efficiently. So without something like this in place, you're not going to know what vendors are running low on quantity, which ones you need to reorder from. And then at the same time, all of this allows you to then go and take a deeper look into your vendors and see which ones are actually helping you and which ones are hurting you.
Forecasting, capability, profitability, margins, shipment, tracking. I mean, you might have a vendor that ships in 7 days and your client start complaining, Lead times, you might have a custom product that's going to ship in 3 weeks. Who's tracking that lead time? Are you actually in the back end, if you know that product is going to take 3 weeks, are you setting that expectation with your B2B customer? I mean, there are so many different levels of this. We don't want to get too complicated. We're nerds. We love getting complicated. We don't want to get too complicated on this search session. But man, there's some capability that's really exciting in form of a technology here with B2B e-commerce. The last one we're going to talk about is dynamic and conditional part builders. Now, this is mostly for machinery businesses, industrial businesses, HVAC, etc., etc. Talk to us about this part builder functionality. We've done some crazy things with this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for example, we'll use an existing client as an example. OC Pneumatics. They sell pneumatic parts. So, for those of you who don't know who pneumatic parts is, it's okay. Not a lot of people do. But pneumatic parts are essentially the opposite of what a hydraulic system is. A pneumatic system runs on air. These pieces of machinery have so many different intricate parts. And each and every one of these parts have different configurations. So you're now turning one product that with all of these different configurations could potentially turn into 100 to 1,000 different SKUs with all the different combinations that you can apply to this one little piece. So for an e-commerce store, there's no way that you're going to be able to have a different SKU, a showcase a product page for a different SKU of essentially almost an identical product with just a slight little different configuration on it.
How many total SKUs? Joe, like 2 million?
Around 2 million different SKUs. So now you're talking about 2 million product pages. that you're going to have to create, take photos. It's impossible.
And I want to mention this, there are dependencies. When you select options, like you can't select all the options together. They need to match, right? Like you can only have certain, if you have option A, you can't have option C, but you can have option D, E, and F. Just got to track all of this. There's a huge logic behind this. Who else can you give as an example other than OC Pneumatics? Like who else would need this? You know, like we have another client, Arlen Scales, for example, that has conditional options. Custom, he manufactures in the US and he manufactures custom weighing equipment. And there are so many applications: dental supply, medical supply, PPE. I mean, there are so many different examples of this. But keep going, please.
But you touched on it exactly when you said that you're going to have different options. However, there are different conditions. So if I select option A, now when I go to select, for example, if I'm looking at an air fitting, if I select a male fitting of a T or an elbow, the next configuration when it's asking me for its counterpart, it won't allow me to select another male. It's going to have to be a female in order to fit. So again, like you said, those types of configurations and those rules need to be set for each and every one of these. And what it does is it just makes the user experience a million times better. The same way as if an individual would call over the phone or walk into your store or your warehouse knowing the piece that they need. This tool allows them to do just that on their own. And then from an operations standpoint and a cost standpoint, you don't need to worry about building out each and every one of these individual product pages, having these images, taking photos of each and every one of these. So it really reduces your costs from a development standpoint in the long run.
So firearm industry has some crazy customizations for rifles, for semi-automatic weapons, any kind of machinery. And rumor has it, now I'm not confirming this or denying this, but rumor has it that Audi and BMW are working on an advanced product order or car or automobile order functionality where you can select everything and they can give you the product customized to order. Let's say, you go in and imagine this is awesome for car nerds, right? You select every single option of your car. So if you want certain rims, you have certain options. If you have a lower size rim, you have different options. You have audio systems, you have screens, just think about what goes into one of these supercars or one of these nice cars, right? Rumor has it that they're working on this. It's all for the same purpose. And we're going to end with this. Customizing the experience of purchasing online, because this is not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to get more and more popular. And if you have a B2B business and you don't have online ordering capabilities, you need to start reconsidering your entire business operation. That's it.
All
right, we'll talk to you guys next week.